All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What are we uncovering today?
Well, today we're diving into something that could really make a difference in your portfolio. We're talking about Spanish real estate and the tax advantages that come with investing in it.
Sounds intriguing. Spain's always been a popular destination, but I'm curious about these tax benefits.
Yeah, so was I. While I was prepping for this, I was actually surprised by some of the things I learned. You ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Let's unpack this.
Okay, so first things first, Spain actually encourages foreign investment.
Really? They actively welcome it.
They do. They've got some pretty attractive incentives set up. And we're
Yeah.
going to break those down with help from our expert, who, by the way, is practically a walking encyclopedia when it comes to Spanish real estate.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, come on. You know, I heard you convinced a friend to buy a vineyard in Rioja just by describing the sunset.
Ugh. The sunsets in Rioja are something else. That and the wine, of course. But back to the matter at hand. Let's dive into these tax advantages for foreign investors.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get specific. What are these tax advantages that make Spain so attractive for foreign investors?
All right, so one of the biggest draws is the flat tax rate on rental income.
Flat tax rate, you mean?
Exactly. Imagine you only pay 19% on whatever you earn from renting out your property.
19%. That's pretty incredible. Much lower than a lot of other places.
Right. It's significantly lower than standard income tax rates in many countries. It's a huge draw for investors.
Definitely makes Spain a contender. But wait, there's more, right?
Oh, absolutely. On top of that flat rate, you can also deduct a bunch of expenses related to the property.
Okay, like what?
Things like maintenance costs, repairs, even the fees you pay for property management, those can all be deducted, which really helps lower your taxable income.
Makes sense. Less taxable income means
More money in your pocket.
smart. All right, I've got to ask about something I hear a lot, but honestly, I don't fully grasp it. Double taxation treaties. Can you help me understand?
Of course. It sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Essentially, these treaties are agreements between countries to make sure you're not being taxed twice on the same income.
Ah, so if you're earning rental income from a property in Spain, but you're living, say, in the U.S.
Exactly. The treaty prevents you from getting taxed in both Spain and the U.S. Depending on your residency and the specifics of the treaty, you'll only pay taxes in one of those countries.
That's a relief, I've got to say.
Mm.
So these treaties act as a sort of safety net.
Exactly. They help avoid that double tax hit.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Now, even with all this info, I imagine it's still quite a lot to navigate on your own, right? I mean, where you even begin?
You're absolutely right. It can feel overwhelming. That's why it's almost always recommended to work with a real estate agent who specializes in these kinds of investments.
Right, someone who really understands the Spanish system.
Precisely. They know the ins and outs of the whole process, so they can make sure you're following all the regulations and, most importantly, taking advantage of all those tax benefits that are available to you.
So they're like your guide through this whole process.
Exactly. They help you navigate the legal and financial side of things so you don't have to do it all yourself.
Got it. Are there any particular agencies that come to mind?
Absolutely. There are quite a few reputable ones, but one I always recommend is Elite Villas Marbella. They've got a great reputation and a lot of experience specifically helping foreign investors.
Okay, good to know. So as we wrap up here, for our listeners out there who are now considering this type of investment, what are the key things they should remember?
Definitely keep in mind that Spain really is welcoming to foreign investors. They're serious about it, and these tax advantages are proof of that. And don't forget, those benefits can make a big difference in your return on investment simply because you're minimizing your tax burden.
It's not just about finding a dream property. It's about making a smart financial move.
Couldn't agree more.
This has been so insightful. Thank you so much for walking us through all of this.
My pleasure. It's been great talking about this.
Now, for everyone listening, here's something to think about. Knowing all of this now, what kind of property in Spain are you most drawn to? A beautiful villa on the coast? A rustic farmhouse in the countryside? Or maybe a chic apartment in the heart of Madrid? Close your eyes and just imagine yourself there. Who knows, maybe this is the beginning of your Spanish real estate adventure. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Spanish real estate.